Quote, "Even a good scheme falls through if we do not divine aright the disposition of men." Meaning of the quote. At its core, this quote speaks to the critical importance of understanding people. No matter how sound, rational, or well-designed a plan may be, it can unravel if it fails to consider the emotional, psychological, and social nature of the people it affects. A good scheme symbolizes logic, planning, or strategy, something well thought out and structured. Divine aright means to perceive accurately, to understand with intuition or deep insight. The disposition of men refers to people's characters, emotions, tendencies, motivations, and mindsets. The quote tells us that human factors, emotions, perceptions, resistance, beliefs, can override even the best logic. Wisdom lies in not just crafting a good plan, but in aligning it with human nature. Spiritual perspective. In a spiritual sense, this quote touches on the deeper layers of awareness and intuition. Every person has an inner world, shaped by fears, hopes, memories, and soul lessons. A spiritually wise person does not act only from intellect or pride but learns to tune into the energetic disposition of those around them. Compassion, deep listening, and non-judgment are key spiritual practices. A person in harmony with themselves naturally becomes more perceptive of others' inner states. Plans made in spiritual wisdom consider not just outcomes, but the journey and growth of all involved. The quote subtly warns against ego-driven decision-making, where one assumes that others will automatically follow or agree just because the logic is sound. The path of wisdom demands humility, awareness, and an inner alignment with the rhythms of others. A spiritually awakened being recognizes that transformation, cooperation, and alignment begin within the heart, not just in the mind. Scientific perspective. From a scientific standpoint, particularly in psychology, sociology, and behavioral economics, this quote is highly accurate and relevant. 1. Cognitive science. Humans don't always act logically. Decisions are influenced by cognitive biases, for example, confirmation bias, status quo bias, emotional states, cultural conditioning, subconscious beliefs. Even a brilliant solution can fail if it conflicts with how people feel or perceive it. 2. Social psychology. People are tribal, emotional, and driven by social belonging. Plans or policies that fail to consider group dynamics, social resistance, power structures, need for identity are more likely to be rejected, no matter how beneficial they are. 3. Neuroscience. The brain often prioritizes emotional responses over rational analysis, amygdala versus prefrontal cortex. Thus, the success of any initiative depends on how it emotionally resonates with people. Science affirms what wisdom has long known: understanding human behavior is essential to making any plan work. Let's bring this wisdom to life through a small story. Title: The Quiet Listener. In an ancient mountain kingdom, a young ruler inherited a prosperous yet divided land. He wished to unify his people by constructing a new road that would connect all the scattered villages, bringing trade, education, and harmony. The architects drew perfect maps. Engineers calculated with precision. Everything was ready. But the villagers, especially the older generation, resisted. They spread rumors, protested, and sabotaged progress. "We don't need this road," they cried. "It will destroy our peace." The ruler grew frustrated. "Don't they see this is for their own good?" he asked his advisors. Then, an old sage arrived at court and quietly said, "You have drawn a map of land. Now draw a map of hearts." The ruler was puzzled. The sage explained, "Each village has its own story, its pain, its pride. You saw only distance, but not the soul that spans it. So the young king set out, not as a ruler, but as a listener. He stayed in the villages, shared meals, heard songs and worries. He learned that one village had been raided long ago through that very path. Another had sacred stones they feared would be disturbed. Armed now with understanding, the king redesigned the road, with protective measures, new rituals, and employment for locals. Slowly, hearts softened. The road was completed, and it not only connected the land but healed old wounds. Application to everyday life. 1. In leadership, a manager may roll out a new workflow or software tool thinking it's efficient. But if the team feels unheard, overburdened, or excluded from the decision, they may resist or sabotage it. Successful leaders listen before they lead. 2. In relationships, you may offer advice or try to fix a situation with your partner, friend, or child, but unless you feel where they are, your actions may come off as controlling or dismissive. Emotional insight matters more than being right. 3. In education, a teacher may create a perfect lesson plan, but if it doesn't consider the diverse learning styles, traumas, or cultural backgrounds of students, it won't inspire learning. 4. In innovation, inventors and entrepreneurs often fail not because their product is bad, but because they don't understand the user's habits, fears, or expectations. Success belongs to those who empathize deeply with their audience. In summary, insight plus strategy equals wisdom. Strategy alone is structure. Insight is soul. Plans need both to thrive. To truly succeed in any area of life, we must see people as they are, not as we wish them to be. We must learn to divine aright the disposition of men, not through control, but through compassion, curiosity, and conscious presence. Thank you for joining this exploration of wisdom. If this message resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe for more insights into timeless truths. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step, and every great idea begins with a strong foundation. See you in the next episode.